Implementation overview. How we set up the evaluation. The first thing we ask you to do is identify a group of target learners and then complete the pre-assessment task with all learners. You'll then enter the data into the What Worked Teachers platform, and this will randomly allocate them into an intervention and a comparison group. The intervention group will use a strategy for the duration of the trial, and the comparison will continue as business as usual. At the end of the trial, both groups will complete the post-assessment task, which is the same as the pre, and when the data is entered into the platform, it will generate an impact report. If this is positive, you can then open up the strategy to your comparison group. So let's look at this from a step-by-step planning approach. So step 1, identify a group of target learners to participate in the evaluation from the same year group. Step 2, identify 60 challenging words from the National Curriculum Guidance. These will be introduced incrementally by 15 new spellings over 4 weeks. Select 20 words to use as your pre and post assessment task. So these are the same words used for the pre and then the post. Complete the pre-assessment spelling test with all learners. Record the marks in the Excel tracker located in the resource folder and input this into the pre-test on the trial wizard. Step 4. Using the trial wizard on the What Worked Teachers platform, randomly assign learners to the intervention and the comparison group. Step 5. For the intervention group, deliver the targeted intervention. This variation of the trial incrementally introduces learners to 15 spellings over the week with a review on a Monday. The next comparison group will continue with business as usual for the duration of the trial. And then at the end, complete the post-assessment spelling test, which is the same as the pre, to both the intervention and the comparison group. Record the marks in the Excel tracker located in the resource folder and input this into the post-test on the trial wizard. So the intervention focuses on year 4 and 5 pupils. Intervention is delivered by a teaching assistant in small groups, and it can be set as homework. Each session will be daily and introduce the words incrementally with a review on a Monday. 15 new words will be learned per week and a consolidation week in week 5. The look, say, cover, write, check is a method of learning spelling where children study a word, say the word aloud clearly, pay attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or the hand, write the spelling next to the original word, check their version to see if they got it right, and then write the correct spelling again if necessary. This version of the strategy emphasizes reading and saying the word aloud to help connect the written and spoken word. So how to select the spellings. The DfE Primary National Curriculum includes guidance on expected spellings. Use this to create your list of 60 words that you'll select for the intervention, and then you'll use 20 of these for your pre and post assessment. Each week the learners will practice 15 new spellings using the strategy with a teaching assistant. In the resource folder you will find a template that you can use, and you'll find the tracking spreadsheet that allows you to link an anonymized learner ID on the platform to a student in your group. So just on here, identify whether they're control or intervention. So key considerations. Logistical issues need to be considered before using a targeted spelling strategy as an intervention. Is there a suitable time in the day for the delivery? Is there a suitable location? Any reminders on the day to remind the learners? If you're using the templates, can these be printed off in advance? And then will you link this to any potential rewards? So logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools, so it's just important to consider these prior to starting. Finally, moving on to the assessment. The outcome measure is attainment as defined by the pre and post spelling test. The assessment is marked out of 20, as the same for both the pre and the post. As both the comparison and intervention groups receive the same assessment, familiarity should not bias the effect. And finally, complete the assessment under test conditions. Allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Provide an example of the word in a sentence for each spelling, and then just make sure you record your scores on your tracking spreadsheet and then input these into the platform. So that's the end of your implementation guidance. The next thing to do is to download the research protocol, your resource folder, and then click the trial wizard to get started.